Hello, and welcome to the Ask Dr. Joanne show. I am Dr. Joanne Frederick. I'm a licensed professional counselor and an author. Well, excuse me. Well, today we have a very important guest. Bring our guest in right quick.
Hello.
Hi, there is our important guest. Our guest today name is Jay Eli. She is going to talk to us. I'm going to be asking her some questions, and I am so happy you're here. I'm so happy that I'm all choked up. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
So, Jay Eli, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Well, my name is Jay Eli. I'm an artist. I like to say I'm a contract specialist by day and I'm an artist by night. I am from the DMV area, specifically Charles County. I got my bachelor's degree back in 2018 from the University of Baltimore, where I studied digital communications. And pretty much, I'm just an artist. I do all things creative, whether it's like makeup, painting, poetry, writing. I just love to express myself creatively.
Yes, and it's interesting that you say that because the producer was telling me that I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram, but you have this large following. Is that true?
I wouldn't say it's large, but I'm a manifest that it will be extremely large one day. I'm working on it.
Excellent. Well, what do you put on there that so many people are like, oh, I'm following her? What are your content like? And share your handle in case viewers are listening and they're like, I'm curious.
Oh yeah, well I'm at She Is Jay Eli on everything. So Instagram, TikTok, what's the other one? Twitter. I am at She Is Jay Eli, and my YouTube channel is The Journey of Jay Eli. On TikTok, it's really just a bunch of random content. Honestly, it kind of started off as a burner account, so I was just kind of going on there to just be my authentic self and do stuff. But I guess that's what wins on TikTok. So it kind of turned into me. I posted a video last year about my spiritual journey, ironically, because we're talking about this with Copeology. And that it kind of went viral. I didn't expect it. It just kept going up. I got a lot of responses from it. And then from there, I kind of used the platform to like talk more about my spiritual journey and like therapy and just how I was coping. Pretty much my whole growth journey that I was on last year. I just used TikTok to like document it and it worked. So I'm gonna stick with it.
Wow, that is amazing. You got me curious here. But as you said, you're making reference to that book, right? Copeology, by Dr. Joanne Frederick. And friends, there you go. And so you also have an entry in here, which is very creative as well. People I've heard commented and curious to learn more about you or to just consult with you on the creativity and then also the story that you shared. So, in being a part of Copeology, you were invited to write in this book. Tell us what that invitation was like for you and the journey of writing. What was your experience?
Well, the invitation came from you. It came from you directly. Well, my mom is a part of the book as well, and she told me about it prior to you asking me to be a part of it. She told me that she was going to be about it. She's really excited, and she told me that the I don't know what you want to call it. I guess the premise of the book is about spirituality and how you use it to cope or other ways that you use to cope. So I was like, okay, I got really excited because that was a lot of what me and my mom were talking about in our personal conversations. So it was kind of only right that I be a part of the book. Um, then I spoke to you directly and you asked me like, did I want to be a part? But at the time there was a lot going on, so I honestly didn't think that I would have enough time to write. But I was like, this opportunity, I can't miss out on. So I just jumped on it. The writing process for me, I'm a writer, so it was actually very easy, honestly. The only thing that made it difficult is that we had a certain amount of words or the word count. There was a cap to our entry, and I love writing and expressing myself. So it's kind of hard to condense everything that I wanted to say into that one entry. But I do feel like it turned out amazing. Like the words were beautifully put.
Yeah, it did. It did. And so it almost sounds as if like writing your story and writing poetry or things that you do. And I could kind of see how the natural talent came out in your story as well. I've also heard you say poems in the past.
Right.
You care to spit a rhyme right quick for us and any of your poems that you can think off the top of your head?
Mm, mm, yeah, I would say the most popular one. My doggy here. She's come here, Nova.
Let's
Come.
see this dog. She wants some attention.
Yeah,
She want to
Nova
be
is the star.
interviewed.
She's the
Oh,
star of the show. So sorry. She's still a baby, so she just.
adorable.
I
What
was like,
kind of dog is she?
she's a Maltese poodle, a Maltese mixed with a poodle and a Shih Tzu. Can
What's
I?
her name?
Nova.
Nova. Oh,
So, oh yeah, back to the poem. I have one poem that I kind of quoted it in the book, so you know they have to go read the book so they can
oh,
see the line that I quoted. But it's from a piece called "Beautifully Broken,"
yeah.
and I could just do like the beginning, but it's basically like she has scars bigger than Mars, floating amongst her heart. They feel like darts, somewhere far yet so no, somewhere close, yet so far. She sees it in the stars. She fell victim to his demise and truth-coded lies. So the pain doesn't really come as a surprise. She has grown tired of the tears that fall from her eyes that have been continuously accompanied by gray skies. She's been hurt so bad and she loves so hard. I admire her heart for that. Word to Alex Ill because she keeps it real. And although she is broken, she can be fixed. She just has to admit that she is beautifully broken, but not damaged, because damaged girls never find security in themselves. They search for love in everyone else. That's it.
Amazing.
That's what I got.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I have heard you perform it. I've seen a video and I've seen you in person. And it's beautiful because you have the attire, the energy. I think that if I'm correct, the poem is actually even longer than what you just said,
Oh
correct?
yeah, the poem is like probably like almost like 2 minutes long or so.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks for blessing us with that. I love that.
You're welcome.
So tell me, what are your goals, in terms of like career? I mean, I heard you say you have a job by day. Well, what are your career goals?
My career goal is to be a full-time artist and entrepreneur. I just want to make money pretty much from various creative endeavors. Right now, my biggest focus is like digital content creating. So whatever opportunities that open up for me on the creative aspect, I'm pretty open to it. I'm looking to hopefully get some brand deals and partnerships soon. But
Okay.
yeah, I just want to build up my brand as Jay Eli and make money from creating and inspiring other people to create and heal.
Excellent. Make that money, honey. That's what I'm talking. So I've also seen you do some fashion,
A little something,
some modeling, right?
yeah, something
Yeah, I
slight.
think I've seen some photos, pictures. Very nice, very nice. So tell us, we're living in the world of a pandemic. What has the pandemic been like for you?
Wow, that's a big question right
Yeah,
there.
deep, huh?
I think the pandemic affected everybody in the most unpredictable, unexpected way possible. But I think where it really affected everyone as a collective was mentally. And I would say mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I think being trapped inside the house for so long, we were all forced to kind of like take a look in the mirror and see ourselves up close. And then if you were kind of locked down with loved ones or partners, it tested the, how strong your relationship was. So for me, the pandemic was a transition period. During that time, I was in a long-term relationship and we split, and that kind of triggered my spiritual journey, which I talk about in the book as well. So I think the pandemic was just a very huge like eye opener and a wake up call for me. It allowed me to kind of just sit with myself and learn about myself, and also just start working on the problems and stuff that I didn't really realize that I had, which I think everybody can sympathize with because we were in the hustle and bustle of 9 to 5s and raising children and just all of these responsibilities. I think just the pandemic slowed everything down for me and everyone else to kind of just take time to focus on yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said that, you were talking about being your authentic self. And I think that's exactly what I'm seeing and hearing because, on the other side of the table as a therapist, yeah, especially at the onset where the pandemic like exposed people and including me as a human of to face things that you never really want to or you saw but it's an issue and like how do you work through it and
Right,
how do you grow from it, right?
right.
And so we're still in the pandemic. Would you say that you're now used to and accustomed to this type of world, whatever it is like for you?
Well, I'm an introvert by default. I really enjoy my alone time and being with myself and being indoors, doing indoor activities like reading and writing. So to me,
Wow.
it was a win-win. I'm not really much of a person that cares about like going out and being in people's faces anyway. So
Mhm.
it was like I really enjoy it. I'm okay with this new normal, honestly. I like it. I'm okay with it. I
Really?
don't like the strain that is put on family gatherings and stuff though, because like I have like older family members who are like, they have other underlying health conditions. So like a lot of family gatherings kind of slowed down. Like Christmas, we were all like split up. So I don't like it in that aspect, like how it affects family and like birthday parties and stuff. But on a day to day, I love it. I get to work from home, so I can't complain. And actually, when I was in the office, I like literally had a mental breakdown in my office, like several days. I wasn't really doing well in that environment of just being in the office. That didn't work for me. So this is perfect. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Now, thanks for sharing that. A couple of things. So you were saying that how okay, so you're an introvert, right? But it's interesting because hearing you and seeing you do poetry and even dipping in fashion and art and even speaking, you wouldn't think that you're an introvert because you do well,
I think
performing. Performing.
performing teaches you how to be extroverted because you kind of jump into character. Like it's like public speaking or anything else. You may not want to do it or do it on the normal, but because you have to do it, it kind of pushes you to get out of your shell. So maybe that's like the caveat, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense because you use the word performance, meaning that you're acting, you're displaying something, and you're good with that craft and talent, but it doesn't mean that you're not shy or you're not introvert. So, it reminds me of Michael Jackson, even though I never met him, never saw a concert, but it seemed as if he was like one of the world's greatest performers. But then it also seemed like he was really, really shy, like doing
Right.
interviews and kind of,
Because one-on-one stuff like this is more intimate, when you're on a stage, I think like any artist, performer, musician can agree that when you go on the stage, it's almost like you're in a different world. You kind of go into this other space that just like doesn't exist, and then you come off, and then you like kind of back into reality. So
yeah,
then you probably come back down some. But yeah, I think that's why that is because
that
I
makes
go on
sense.
stage and you can be this alter ego or another side of yourself. But like people in your real life might not be used to that side.
Right. That is cool. I like that. That's good to hear.
And I love
And
Michael Jackson.
yeah, you loved Michael Jackson? Yeah, that's cool. Are there things about him that you can relate to or you've seen yourself or would desire?
I think musically, well, I grew up in a household, a very creative household, with musical parents, and my dad, we just kind of would bond sometimes through that. Like he loved Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five, so he really put that down up in me. Like that love that he had kind of transferred to me, and then we would just, performing songs together in the house, playing around and stuff like that. So I just always liked him, and I like Michael's spirit. He always seemed so like he had a pure soul. He just seems like he was a genuine spirit and soul. And he had that kid like that kid like I don't know, personality in a way.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Much like
talking about him, so what musician do you, or performer or, lyricist, do you see yourself most like?
Lauren Hill for sure.
Lauren Hill.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell
100.
us why.
I just grew up on her music. Um Yeah, like I don't know. I remember my mom playing Lauren Hill like a very early age. She, Erica Badu, all of that stuff. She was playing it, but I just always resonated with her music. And then when I probably hit Okay, so her best album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I want to say that came out when she was like 2019. She was very young. And I feel like that's around the age where like I really started like looking at myself on a deeper level. I started really like going within, and just looking at myself through the context of my relationships around me. And Lauryn Hill does a lot of that in her music. A lot of her music is about like relationships. So I just resonate with that. Her spirit, her love for knowledge, just a lot of things. She just reminds me of myself. Like,
Excellent. That is so cool. I like that. That's nice. I like Lauren too.
yeah.
She reminds me of my college days. 'Cause I think I was in college when she was coming more out and more, and very nice. Okay. So, we talked about the pandemic, politics. What are your thoughts on politics these days?
I think it's best to discuss politics in an environment where you have a safe space and where you have open-minded individuals. I think politics is a very divisive tool used in our society. So I don't really care too much for politicking, honestly. But I do understand that it's necessary in our society to politic and to understand politics. But yeah, that's what I would
Yeah,
say.
okay. So then I'm going to ask even specific, because for some reason it seems like a political thing. This
Mhm.
mask mandates and vaccine requirements or not. What is your take on that and how do you feel?
Well, logically speaking, I think that you really have to research medicine and you need to research these vaccines. You need to research the actual disease in itself, which is COVID. I think that's just the best way to pinpoint it is to not take everything that you see on the news from, as it is. I think there's a lot of not being honest about what's really going on. I don't think that this pandemic is about what the majority of the population thinks it is. I think it's, rooted in something deeper. And I think that it's important for people to go out and seek knowledge so that they are aware of what's really going on.
Yeah, so you're an advocate of researching, right? Not just taking what you hear, but research and make your own decisions and
Yeah,
conclusion, but you need to research.
absolutely. Because, like, for instance, I was I didn't want to get the vaccine. And not because I just didn't want to get but for genuine reasons. I'm a pretty natural person. I don't really take medications at all. Like, I barely drink caffeine. I'm just really conscious about what I put in my body. I drink a lot of water. I got off of birth control because it wasn't
Mm,
natural. So I'm just very conscious about what goes into my body. And
excellent.
I feared that with not much research being done on the vaccine, that it could affect me as a woman in a lot of ways. And I won't say specifically how it did, but there has been like little to no studies on how it affects women fertility and their menstrual cycle, and they're finding that it's affecting a lot of women. So like that's the area in which I was scared about. So that's why I would say like it's best to do research and everything.
Excellent. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Folks are always curious about people's views on these things today.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you would like the viewers to know that you didn't get a chance to share?
No, I think I would say like I encourage them to definitely follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube because I intend on, talking about a lot of things that we talked about today on YouTube. My YouTube is actually The Journey of Jay Eli, but everything else is She is Jay Eli. But you'll find me. Just type in Jay Eli. Google me, baby. I'm out here.
I bet you. I bet you are on there. So it's really nice talking to you. And I can't wait, till people get a chance to read your story in here. As a matter of fact, you have a title. Tell us the title of your story in Copeology.
Oh, that's cool. I like that question. Yeah. So the title of I didn't even come up with a title until you told me, you all were like, what's your title? And I was like, oh, what's my title? So, yeah, so interesting. So last year, 2021, that was like a major year for me where I just sat down a lot of 2020, I think with the pandemic for all of us was just traumatizing and then just like everything else. But 2021, a lot happened to me at the end of 2020. I caught COVID. I went through a really, really big breakup. I started a new job. It was just a lot of transitioning and everything. So long story short, 2021, I ended up moving back home to really focus on my mental health and work on myself and on my spiritual journey and everything. And I'm a little scared of bugs. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I don't like anything that can fly towards me or land on me. I'm just not a fan of it. So yeah, I'm just a little scaredy cat when it comes to that. But outside of my grandmother's, where we were living at, outside her unit, there was this praying mantis. And it was like on the rail of the staircase. So like in order to get into my house, like I had to walk past it. And like I was literally just like, oh, I was just like, I can't even explain it. I was just so scared that it was gonna up and move and jump on me or like on my eye or on my skin because this was the summertime and you wearing just something I can't deal with it. So long story short, my grandma was like, "Oh, girl, don't worry about that thing. That thing ain't worried about you." I was like, "But how do you know?" So it actually was going down the steps and somehow it ended up coming all the way upstairs and landing right above the door. And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, and I remember I was going to sleep, like thinking about it. I'm like, "Oh Lord, I done manifested this praying mantis up into the house, and it's gonna come in this house and take me away." So I Googled I had to learn about it. Like I said, research. Anything that I don't know, I fear. But if I can learn about it, I won't be scared anymore. So I started Googling the praying mantis. Like, what do they do? Da da da. Spiritually, they're like the praying mantis is a good sign. That's a sign of good luck. That means your angels are with you. Somebody is watching over you. If it lands on your door, you're like super protected and being watched. And I was like, this makes some sense. This makes a lot of sense now. And it like didn't go away for like weeks. It was just like out there. And I just got over it. And I was like, okay. But then I learned also that they're very strategic. The praying mantis, they sit and they pray. Like, they're very strategic with their move. They won't jump on you because they're trying to be strategic with their movement. Usually pray because they're trying to eat or find something. So I was like, wow, that's me. I've been this praying mantis kind of just up in this house, just strategically sitting still and waiting for the right moves to make, but also being watched over. So when you asked me for a title, I was like, that's the perfect title to describe what I was going through also in my entry, but also in life.
Wow, amazing. I mean, deeply amazing. That is so cool. I didn't know that story, and that's why it's good to have an interview. Like, where did this come from? Right. So again, read Jay Eli's story. It is titled The Praying Mantis. So get out and get your copy of Copeology, the study of coping. Yes. Thank you so much, Jay Eli, for being here with us today. We really appreciate
it. No problem. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this project.
Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate it. So we will talk again. And we will be, having discussion groups with folks on this topic. I think our next one is March the 9th, I think. And so if you want to join in on the discussion, meet Jay Eli up close, you're welcome to, viewers. On that note, we will see you next time on the Ask Dr. Joanne show.
Bye.
Are you trying to cope with life struggles? Are you in need of more support? Do you want to learn how to use your spirituality to cope with life stressors? Then this anthology is for you. It covers how to deal with grief and loss, being a Black man in the world today, disabilities, surviving COVID-19, infidelity, anxiety and fear, trauma, and single parenting. Copeology. Available now on Amazon.com.